So here we're looking at forming and solving quadratic equations. So often diagrams are helpful. If you're looking at sides of things, always let x be the shorter side because it's easier to add something on rather than subtract it. Those are some little hints that you can have. So the first one here, we've got one side of a post-it stamp is 1 centimetre longer than the other. The area is 12 centimetres squared. Find the lengths of the sides. So draw a diagram. Okay, so we'll let x be the side of the shorter side. So therefore this length has to be x plus 1. Okay. And what we do know that the area of the stamp is 12 centimetres squared. So that means base times height or length times width, x times x plus 1 equals 12. Okay. Right, let's expand that out. So we've got x squared plus x equals 12. Now remember, to solve a quadratic, we need to put it equal to 0. So we've got x squared plus x minus 12 equals 0. Okay, and now we factorise that. First, look for a common factor. There's no common factor there. So we're going to try and put it in two brackets. So we need two numbers that multiply together to get negative 12 and add together to get 1, because that's plus 1x there. So if we look at negative 12, it's going to be either 12 and negative 1. Now for this one, the positive has to be bigger than the negative because we've got positive 1 there. That doesn't work. 6 and negative 2 doesn't work. 4 and negative 3, that looks as though it does work because 4 plus negative 3 equals plus 1. So we put those two values in, plus 4 and minus 3. Okay. Now, so we've got let each of the brackets equal 0. So we let x plus 4 equal 0. And we get x equals negative 4. And we let x minus 3 equal 0. And x equals 3. Because this is a context question, look and see whether your answer makes sense. This one doesn't because we can't have a negative side. So x has to equal 3. So the shorter side has to be 3. Is 3 centimetres, and the longer, remember it was 1 centimetre longer, so it must have been 4 centimetres. And if you multiplied those two together, you work out that it, of course, equals to 12. Okay, so we did answer. Go back and look and check that you've answered the question. It said find the lengths of the sides. So this one, a landscape designer is planning to lay concrete on two sides of a spa pool deck. The deck measures 3 by 5, and the concrete, which is the grey bit, will extend out the same distance from the sides of the deck. So here's the deck. So that means if we'll let that be x, and so therefore that must be x as well. The designer will have enough material, so the grey stuff, to make a shape with the area of 48 metres squared. So we need to find the distance. We need to find out what x is. Okay, so let's divide this up, this grey area up. Okay, so the area of this rectangle is going to be 3 times x, length times width. Okay, the area of this rectangle, is 5 times x, base times height. Okay, the area of this rectangle is x squared because that length is x and also that length is x as well. Okay, so we know when we add up all those areas, we're going to get 48 metres squared. So let's write that as an equation. So we've got x squared plus 3x plus 5x equals, and we know the area is 48. Okay. This looks like a quadratic, of course, because we've got x squareds in it. And to solve a quadratic, you put it equal to 0. So let's tidy this up. We've got x squared plus 8x, because 3x plus 5x equals 8x. Take away the 48. And so we have a 0 on that right-hand side of the equation. Right, let's solve this. We need two numbers that multiply to get negative 48 and add together to get plus 8. So let's look at negative 48. We know that we've got a positive and a negative because a positive times negative equals negative 48. We also know that the positive has to be bigger than the negative because of this plus 8. Okay, so we can try 48 and 1. That doesn't work. 48 and negative 1, sorry. 24 and 2, negative 2. No, it's still too far apart. What else goes into 48? 12 times negative 4. Okay, that works because 12 minus 4 is equal to positive 8. Okay, so we're going to factorise that now. So we've got x plus 12, x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, let each of the brackets equal 0, so x must equal negative 12 or x is equal to 4. Now we know that x can't be negative 12 because we can't have a negative length there, so we cross that one out. So the distance must be 4 metres. Just go back and check and see what you answered the question. The question asked you to find the distance that the concrete extends from the side of the deck, and that was either this bit or that bit, and which is just x, and we've worked out x to be 4 metres, so we've got that right.